You know, sometimes the biggest ideas, the most profound truths, are hiding in the simplest of words. Today, we're going to unpack an entire philosophy on teaching and mentorship, and it's all tucked away in just two super short but really powerful poems. Okay, let's get into it. So, let's start with a big question. What does it really mean to be a great teacher? A great mentor? Is your job to just create a little clone of yourself? Or is it something way deeper than that? Well, let's see what these poems have to say. All right, here's the first one. It's called To My Students. Just listen to this. You had the palette knife. I just sharpened it. It's still your knife. So simple, right? But that imagery, a palette knife, an artist's tool. The teacher's job here sounds pretty simple, but man, is it crucial. Okay, now let's pair that with the second poem. The vibe is similar, but the metaphor is totally different. This one's called I Taught Her to Swim. I taught her to swim. She'll find her shore and create a new world. But she knows I am with her, a shadow. Wow. So we've gone from an artist studio straight into the open water. Put these two together, and you get this incredible, complete picture of what it means to be a mentor. Okay, so let's break this down. The first big idea here is all about empowerment over ownership. And this really comes from that first poem, with that incredible palette knife metaphor. The most important part of this, the real key, is that the student already had the knife. See, the talent, the potential, that raw ability, it was already there. The teacher didn't give it to them. Their job was just to sharpen it, to refine a tool that already existed. And that last line, that's everything. It's still your knife. That's not just a statement, right? It's a declaration. It's a celebration. The teacher is basically shouting, hey, this success, this piece of art, this amazing work you're doing, it's all yours, 100%. All right, so let's jump over to that second poem, the one about swimming, because it builds on this idea and takes us to our next big theme, giving someone guidance that actually leads them to independence. And this swimming metaphor is just perfect for this, isn't it? Think about it. When you teach someone to swim, you teach them the basics, how to float, how to move, how to breathe, but you don't tell them where to swim. The goal isn't for them to swim to your shore. The goal is to give them the skill to find their own shore and, like the poem says, to create a new world when they get there. I mean, that line is just packed with so much trust. She'll find her shore. There's no hesitation there, is there? It's not, gee, I hope she makes it. It's a statement of absolute faith. The teacher is basically saying, I know I've given you what you need. Now go find your way. I know you will. And this leads us to what might be the most beautiful and honestly the most profound part of this whole philosophy, this idea of the mentor as a shadow. And this really gets at the core of it. Think about a typical leader, right? They're out front, pointing the way, telling you which path to take. But a shadow? Where's a shadow? It follows from behind. It doesn't steer. It doesn't control anything. It's just there. It's proof of a constant, supportive presence. It's all about influence with zero interference. Those last lines just capture it perfectly. I am with her, a shadow. It's this beautiful, delicate balance. The student is totally free, out there in the light, charting their own course. But they know that support is right there with them, a quiet presence they can always count on. The mentor has chosen to step back, to fade into the background. So let's put it all together. You've got empowerment, you've got this push toward independence, and you've got this idea of being a supportive presence without being controlling. And when all of that comes together, you get this really unique, really selfless kind of joy. Okay, this next idea might sound a little weird at first, but stick with me. This whole philosophy suggests that a teacher's goal is, well, it's to become obsolete. I know, it sounds harsh, but think about what it really means. Real success as a mentor is when you've done such a good job that your student doesn't need you anymore. You've basically worked yourself out of a job. And that is the win. And the feeling that comes with that isn't sadness or a sense of loss. It's this deep, quiet fulfillment. It's kind of like when you see a kid finally ride a bike on their own after you've been holding on. That moment, the achievement is 100% theirs, but you feel this incredible, quiet pride just for having been there to help them get started. So, If we boil this whole philosophy down, it gives us this really clear, really powerful roadmap for being a great mentor. First, refine what's already there, don't try to replace it. Second, guide them, but don't direct them. Third, support their journey, don't try to control it. And finally, and this might be the hardest part, let them go while still remaining that connected, supportive shadow. And that really leaves us with one final thought, a question for you to think about. When you look back on your own life, on your own journey, who was that person for you? Who was the shadow that sharpened your knife, taught you how to swim, and then trusted you completely to find your own shore?